welcome back to Vintage Oaks. You'll see there Davey just running off in the MB track to finish wrapping these bales. We've just swapped tractors because you may have caught it at the end of the last episode, but if you didn't, we were really struggling. The front of the Arcusan bale loader that we've borrowed was digging into the ground. I think the MB track with the slightly lower wheels, or the smaller wheels, was struggling to get the height to be able to pick it up. So we've swapped for the Fendt. We're going to drive this. It's kind of good anyway because it's got more horsepower than the MB track as well. So it probably means we'll have less issues hauling it along the road. But we've got a chunk of bales now that we need to collect. So let's get this hooked up and we'll start rounding things up. We do have another contract lined up which I might go and get Davey to go and get started on when he's finished, because we could be here for a while. So let's get everything organised. Also very conscious of the time of day as well. Now we could get another contract in today, but it would mean running into the evening, but I think we're going to do that. If I pull up my HUD here, you can see we've only got 12,000 in the bank now. Obviously there'll be a bit of a return from this contract. Quite a lot of a return actually. It's quite a good contract this, but yes, it's going to take us a bit of a while to collect the money up, so the more we can do in a day, the better. But as you can see as well, it's 6:30 in the evening, so if we do a contract, we could be running through the night. But let's get this first load picked up, and then we're going to see how long it's going to take us, how many loads we need to do, and then also if there's any extras, because they'll make us a bit of money. There we go, first load done. That did not take long at all. Looks like that might be just driven past what might be the last bale for Davey. So we'll run this down to the sell point and then we'll be back. And I just needed to remind myself again where we are selling this. Oaks BGA, excellent. And the Oaks BGA just up there at the top of the map. So a little bit of a run to get there, but not too far. Now in hindsight, having this Fendt was the right thing to do, because even pulling away, this is quite hard under load. It takes a little bit of time to get the momentum going, so there's no way that MB track would have ever handled that. Right, it's this way to the BGA. As I said, look at it, it's struggling a bit under load. Once it gets going it's good, but just in those low gears and on these hills and stuff, it struggles a bit, so definitely a good call. Right, here we are at the BGA. Let's get this unloaded. Hopefully we're not too late in the day. I know some of these do have a timer on them. We could be after hours here. I think we're too late. I think that's the end of the day for us. No, apparently you just don't try and drive in the out exit. We're all good. As far as I know, we just need to dump them somewhere around about here. So we've got the right spot. We'll find out soon enough. There we go. I do love this bale loader. It is very cool. There we go. And that looks like we've got the right spot. Look at that. Contract on field 71, 30% complete. We've obviously got a lot more to do. But let's push on and get it done.
Davey to FSG.
Go ahead, Davey.
I've finished in this field now. Do you want me to run this tractor home?
Yeah, you could, Davey. And actually, I've got another contract lined up for you. But it's going to require you to work through the night. How are you feeling about that?
Happy to do whatever I need to FSG.
Well, this one's a big one. It's a big ploughing contract. But you get to play with some nice equipment. so the farmer's lending us the equipment to do it. He just hasn't got time to do it or the manpower to do it, so you might have to turn the lights on and turn the radio up and go for it through the night.
I'm happy to do that, no problem.
Right, I'll stop by on the way past and I'll get you started. Field 124.
Roger that, FSG. I'll see you there.
Right, here we are. Field 124 and the big ploughing contract, and look at what we've got to play with here. Now, let me just jump into the contracts page. So there we go, Field 124 ploughing. 31,000 up for grabs here. He just ran out of time. He's having a terrible year, this farmer, actually. Couldn't get his crops off the ground because of the weather, so he's got a completely withered crop of wheat here, and he needs to get it ploughed under as soon as he can to get some seed back in the ground and something growing, or he's going to miss out on another year. So he has given us his 8RT and a huge plough here. Don't know how Davey's going to get on, but hey, he's not let us down so far. Since he's arrived, he's been absolute solid as a rock, so that's all looking good. He knows how to plough anyway, so we'll let him push on with it. Right, there goes Davey. We've had a quick chat. He's happy with what he needs to do, and he is off. So we'll let him push on. He could well be here all night with this. This is a very, very big field. You can see it stretches all the way over there. And you know what it's like with a plough. They're not the widest of implements, so it would take him a while. Oh, that's a big plough, so he should push on relatively quickly. That's a high-powered tractor as well, so fingers crossed he'll be alright. Anyway, we have got an absolute ton of bales to collect, so we better crack on. Right, here we are back in the field. There still looks like a lot of bales in here. I'm not even going to bother counting them. We'll just push on. We'll have a better idea when we get closer to the end of the field. Right, looks like we have another slight issue. Is that the BGA is now full, which is a bit of a worry because we've got probably another 2 loads to come. So we're going to bring those along, drop them off, and hopefully that'll be enough to complete the contract when they convert. But yeah, didn't see that one coming. Anyway, we'll go and get the other 2 loads, get them dumped here, and then we'll see what happens next. Right, back to the field. We'll grab another load, and then we'll count up how many are left. It's very possible that they'll process those bales while we're back here in the field as well. But equally, it might just delay our payday slightly till later on in the night. But hey, we've done the job, so there shouldn't be any issue around us not being paid. But yeah, we'll just make sure that we've got everything done from our end. You can see we've got the lights on now as well. It really is starting to get dark. Davey's doing right in the other field, I'm sure. He's just going to get his head down and be relaxed and chill about getting that done. I'm amazed that he wants to work through the night. Very committed, that lad. Very happy. Right. We'll get this loaded up. Back over to the BGA. So we'll see in a bit. Right, another load on, and it turns out we have got 4 there and 4 over there. We have 8 bales left. So, just under a second load after this one. Just under 4 loads in total. It's a good amount of bales. Right. Let's get this to BGA and see if some of those other bales have been sold yet. Right, we're back, and look at this. Still not sold. Could be the BGA is turned off for the night as well. So let's unload the next batch. Should be enough space for all of these to fit into the unload point, so that's not an issue. But them selling or not selling is a bit of an issue. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? They're selling. That batch in the middle, something wrong with those. We'll have to work that out. Right, we've loaded a few back on, and it looks like it's triggered the unload, which is great. But they have all sold now. Means we can probably unload these 3. And then we're good to go. I wonder if it hadn't fermented to silage fully or something. That's why it wouldn't have accepted, but it has now. So let's get these 3 off, and then let's go and get that final load. Now, interestingly, our money has gone up. I've just turned the HUD on here. So I think we might be into the realms of bales that belong to us now. So those last 8 bales look like they're going to be ours. I think we've got a bale here that hasn't fermented fully, and that's why it's not being accepted. And I was right. Look, they're only fermented 2%, which is interesting because they are silage bales like all the rest. So I'm going to just leave them there. They're still going to ferment and they're still going to sell, but it might take a little bit of time. Right, let's go and get the last 8 bales. I'm assuming now that they will ferment as well and be ready to sell, but let's see. Right, here we are. This is our last 8 bales. Well, 4 now, because we've got 4 on. So we will gather these up, and then we're pretty much done for the night. Davey, like I said, is going to run as long as he needs to with the ploughing contract. But I've got some thinking to do. I've really struggled today with the tractors, with the county, with the MB track. Even to an extent, this Fendt is not... Put it this way, he did say he would potentially sell it to us, but I'm not convinced it's exactly right for what we need. I think we need something more modern. Our big challenge is we have no money. Hopefully these 2 contracts will come in though. It's going to be the equivalent of roughly 50,000. Now it does mean we still can't afford to buy something outright, or if we did it would leave us short, so we're going to have to be leasing. But I'm going to look at something a little bit more modern. Now, I loved my Valtra when we were on Court Farms. That was a really nice tractor, so we could look and see what they've got available in the Valtra stakes. Also, we'll keep an eye on some of the sales stuff, just in case a gem of a tractor pops up at a reduced rate. That would be tremendous. But yeah, I think that is the thing that's missing now. We've got a decent amount of kit now. We could cover jobs completely. For example, these baling jobs. We've got everything we need now. Hopefully we can borrow this trailer again a couple of times, should we need to. But even if we don't, we should be able to cover that off with a normal trailer and things like that. We'll have enough money to buy a cheap flatbed trailer. And we're going to have to keep a lookout for a decent front loader as well. So there we go. Challenges of having nothing, trying to build something up and not having the finances to help you. And of course we can't get loans or anything. We've been made bankrupt, so our credit rating, our ability to get any kind of loans or anything like that is non-existent. So the only money we can get is money we make ourselves. Right. PGA with these. Right, here we go. Final trip to the BGA. I haven't checked these bales to see if they're fully fermented. They should be, because they're contractor bales. But we'll tip and we'll find out. And if they're not, they're not. They'll just sit there until they are, and then we'll get the money for them anyway. So, not the end of the world, but at least we know now. Right, let's get these tipped. And then we'll think about what we do next. There we go, they're selling as well, that's great. So they're included as part of the contract. Look at the money going up. Wow, £7,137. That is well worth doing, isn't it? Fantastic. Right, we are done. I think we'll just head home now. Stop and check on Davey on the way, but other than that, that's us for the night. One last thing to do though, oh look, there's Davey, 20% through the contract already, fantastic, is collect our money for this. Wow, 41,000 in the bank already. Like I said, this is really going to help us funding whatever we do next. Right, let's go home. Right, here we are at the field that Davey's ploughing. I think he's right at the far end at the moment. You can just see him turning around there at the bottom with the plough. Looks like he's making good progress though. It's a long old field, but we'll let him crack on, and we'll maybe chat to him later. Alternatively, he could still be going in the morning. Right, we're just rolling into this yard here of our neighbour farmer, who we very kindly borrowed this trailer off. We'll drop this off, and then we need to kind of run some of the other machinery back up to the shed, get everything sorted. So I'm going to grab the baler now, and then we'll run the MB track up as well, and then that'll be everything done for the night. Right, here we go, the MB track is back with the wrapper. I will just park up the baler as well. I am going to run the Fendt back to Steve's yard, because he is going to probably want that or need that at some point. It's not ours yet. Not sure it will be either. And there we go. Job is done. Right, there we go. In the shed. Engine off. That is us for the night. We will see you in the morning. Good morning everyone. We are back on field 124. Davey's done a fantastic job. Look at the finish on this. It looks superb. And he parked up here. He said he finished about 4:30 in the morning. So he's going to have the day off. I'm going to allow him that privilege, and we'll collect the money for this contract now. I'm going to show you top corner now. We've gone from 41,000 to 38,500, so that is a mixture of wages for Davey plus our leasing costs are sitting at about 4,500 a day at the moment, which is high, and likely to get a little bit higher if we try and buy that new tractor. So my concern is we need to find a balance really, but reality is we're about to close this contract off as well, which is another 30,000, which helps us. So as long as we start to kind of complete at least one of those contracts a day, it's going to keep us on the straight and narrow financially. So we'll return this tractor to the farmer and we'll collect our payment, and then we'll have a look at what is on the list of things to do today. There we go, 31,772. Obviously taken a little bit off for us using his vehicles, so it goes down to 28,096. But thank you very much indeed. That is a nice contract. There we go, 66,677 in the bank now. Right, let's talk tractors and what we think we should do next. So here's what we've got available to us to sell. We've got our county and we have got the Ford 7000. Now the 7000 is worth, you know, a little bit. The county, of course, were very sought after by collectors. So there's a very good possibility we could get some decent money for that. Not that I want to sell it, but it does mean then I can pay Davey back because of that. So there's about 40,000 there, plus the 66 we've got in the bank. Let's have a look at the sort of things we should be looking at. So first up, we've got a nice newer Fendt, a 700. Now, if we were to lease one of these with the slightly smaller, there's a 150 horsepower engine there. I'd probably want something a bit more than that. Maybe the 188 horsepower version. I mean, it's 9,000. It's quite a lot. And then your base costs and your per work day and your per hour are high as well. But we have got the option to lease to buy these further down the line. We could put a front loader on it as well, so it'll help with the bale loading. Going back, so what's that? 180,000 for that in that spec. A little bit further up here, we do have the 9S, which is a beautiful, sorry, the 8S, beautiful tractor. Now, that is the 205 horsepower, so already we've got more horsepower than we would have had in the Fendt. Lease-wise, about the same, little tiny bit more, but a lot more tractor for your money there. Very interesting, and yeah, like I said, a glorious tractor. Again, option to put a front loader on that if we wanted to help with the bale loading. So a consideration for sure. The other option is the Deutz-Fahr Warrior, 236, but 287, and we probably would never need to consider another tractor ever again if we got this. And it's something a bit different to them we kind of use all the time. However, look at that, 12,000. That would make it a very expensive tractor to run, but it's another option. It is another option. It would help us get through work really quickly, so you could justify it. The other option then is the Kubota. Now these are relatively sensibly priced. We can get a 200 horsepower Kubota, and that's coming in at 177 at 200 horsepower. And look at that, still in the 9,000 category. Still not as much horsepower. Do you know what? I'm really pointing towards that 8S. That's starting to feel like a very good offer. There we go, 9792. Okay. Right, we'll give this some thought. But I think we'll definitely sell the county, the 7000, and of course, got the MB track as well. We could hand that back. That will cut down some of our costs somewhat. Anyway, enough about that for now. Let's go and see what sort of contracts are on the go today. Okay, now I have just come across this £67,000. Now, use your own equipment at least for a reward reduced by 15,000. So they're going to take a fair chunk off, but that would still be over 50,000 for a contract. I mean, there's no way I'm not taking that, is there? Right, let's take that. Like I said, it's a big reduction, but we do not have a sprayer, and I can't see us having a sprayer anytime soon. But, goodness me, I would be crazy to not take that. So we will borrow those items as well. And then we'll have a look at what else we've got. A lot of ploughing contracts, of course, coming to the end of harvest season now. So some big chunky ploughing contracts. Look at that one with the quad track. There's a harvesting contract here as well. Potatoes. Now, you know my love of potatoes isn't particularly high, but at the same time, I think it might be worth taking that. So let's take that and borrow the items. There's only a reduction of 1,500 if we borrow those items. So let's take that as well. FSG doing potatoes. Who knew it? Right, back at the yard. we are going to jump in the Landy and we're going to go and check out these 2 contracts and what's available to us. I've just thought as well, the Land Rover could be a little bit of an extra earner as well. But first and foremost, we've got other things to worry about, and that is making some big money. So we'll stop off at the field we're going to spray, just have a look at that, and then we'll go and check out the potato field as well. So not far from where we were, but I believe it's around about here somewhere. There is an entrance. This looks like it. Yes, here we are. And there is the tractor. Interesting, got duals on. This is the field. Apparently we are spraying off these weeds, which look appalling, to be honest, for such a young crop. The nice thing is we'll be able to see where we've sprayed pretty much straight away, so that's cool. Big field though. This is actually the biggest field on the map. There it is, 62. I think it's about 122 acres in total, so a massive field. But there's quite a big boom on this sprayer, so it shouldn't take us too long. And look at that Magnum. What a beast of a tractor. I am getting to drive some really cool equipment. But it's the only way at the moment, and it does take a chunk out of our earnings, but I'm not sure how we'd be able to keep up. Because, you know, this stuff is too expensive, and we'd have to turn down so many contracts. But things like sprayers, things that you're not going to use very regularly, it makes sense to use the equipment the farmer's got. I just think they're struggling to have enough people to get all the work done. Right, let's go and check out my nemesis, the potatoes. Right, here we are. This is actually the field we're going to be doing right here, but the equipment is just parked across the road because there's a bigger space to leave it. So let's just have a look at that first, and then we'll go and have a look at the field itself. It doesn't look too onerous, he says. We have got this absolute monster, this Grimmy harvester. So hopefully that's going to help us. I haven't used one of those for a very long time. And then we've got the Kubota. Interestingly, we were looking at the Kubotas in the shop. This is the M7172, so the slightly smaller version than the one I was looking at, but the fact we get to drive this means it could help us in some of our decision making about new tractors. Very nice on the Brantner trailer there. So again, lovely equipment to play with. Lovely equipment. Right, let's go and check out the field. Was wrong actually, that looks like sugar beets. Here's the potatoes. Ready to go. Now, it doesn't look, I mean, it's a big enough field, isn't it? But it doesn't look too onerous with the equipment we've got. So we might be alright. But yes. Gonna have to try and rekindle my love for potatoes, I think. But let's give it a go. We've got the right equipment. We've got the best equipment we can get. So we're just gonna have to give it a go, aren't we? Right, on that note, on that bombshell, hopefully you'll come back for the next episode, and you can enjoy me harvesting potatoes. Never thought you'd hear me say that. Right, that's it for now. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.